Okay, back out in the garage. Part two, it's the deuce. It's the big deuce part of this whole catastrophe we've got going on with our broken conveyor or reed stuffer. It's actually got a piece that's busted off there. I found that piece. I could not find the piece that's missing from here. You see how big that hole is compared to this is the one I can't use, that 30 millimeter hole, right? Quite a bit different than what we've got going on with this stuff here. Now this is the RVXX reed cage from the laydown shifter. This is the stuffer that goes in it. We'll just stick it in there so you can see that. Boop. You see, and it matches right up to that little divider, right? This was quite a bit smaller. It was actually more shaped like this one. This is from the RVS, from the old, much older homologation. You see, it's a two-piece unit, where this one, if I can get that to you, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Side panel sitting on here. On this particular engine, the reed cage actually sits in a machined relief here. Okay? You see how it's machined down there? Let me get you a flashlight in there real quick. Oh yeah, if I can find one. Well, we got stuff everywhere out here, folks. Here we go. Here's the old flashlight right here. So what we're going to do is we'll show you how that one mounts and how the evolution from RVS to RVX to RVXX, which is this engine right here, came along. You see the, right, you can see how that reed cage is going to drop right in there. And I'll show you. I'll drop it in there real quick and show you how that works. Okay. It simply fits right in there. Right? Just like so. I don't have it stuffed all the way in there because it'll be harder to get back out. But you see what's going on. And then, of course, stock standard, you've got this rubber flange here. It just, see, there's no gasket, no nothing. The rubber has a raised portion on it. You see that little raised part? It's almost like a built-in O-ring, right? And that's what seals the reed cage. This section here, and everything, it seals it all up to the case of the engine itself, right? Now on the RVS that's out in the trailer, which I really can't bring you that. I mean, I suppose I could run you out there. It has a different setup. It has the rubber flange. This is the rubber intake, and it's angled because the bottom end is quite a bit longer from front to back than the RVXX, right? So that one's got an angled intake, and this one is more straight up and down. But the bolt pattern is exactly the same. I can show you that too. Right, so Vortex didn't change a whole heck of a lot. Right, you see the bolt pattern is the same. They didn't change a heck of a lot from homologation to homologation. But how they went about mounting this is pretty cool. This one has a metal rev plate on it. Came that way when I got it. You see the stuffer is shaped differently because this one is round on the back side. The newer model for the rock shifter, completely round. RVS, not so much. Round on this side and more square on this side. I don't know if that has to be how they developed it with that little splitter in there. But as you'll see real quick, let me set you down. I'll put you on the hand and the hand cleaner over there. How y'all doing? This actual conveyor sticks up out of the reed cage itself, but it's done like that on purpose, because inside this piece that is literally non-existent on this piece, it's got an O-ring on the inside. You see that, folks? And that O-ring is going to seal the reed cage. It's still got a little bit of Yama bond in there. I use that just because it's three pieces. 1, 2, 3 to seal it up, where this is just one. We don't even use goob on this. No gasket, no goob, no nothing. You just put it on, and when you tighten it down, it seals up. You see what's going on here is now it's a one-piece unit that'll go on. Now, this probably would be tight, but I bet you anything it'll slide right into the other engine. We're not going to try it right now, but I did take this out, the conveyor out of the RVS as in Sam, and see if it would fit into the RVXX cage. And look at that. It goes right in. It goes right in. Right? And it's still sticking out a little bit, just like it was in the other one. So we would actually be able to take a mold from this conveyor, being that it's for 30 millimeter, right? But it fits the splitter on this real well, just like it does this. It's the exact same piece. This one looks like it's got a little bit more beef to it around the edges, you know. So for this one to go into the more modern double X engine, we probably have to file it down a little bit, but we're not going to, because it's for our other motor. Now, this is a much bigger piece, and it looks a lot more like this one, doesn't it? Compared to this one. Now, this one's had a lot of work done to it. I've really hogged this thing out. You can see where it fits around the splitter, because when it was designed for 30, there's very little protrusion to meet the splitter. Where on this one, you see there's a whole bunch more protruding because the hole is bigger, right? So it looks as though this part here is fatter on this one, obviously, than on that one, because I've gone ahead and taken a lot of time with a Tootsie Roll type die grinder. Actually, I think I used to hog it down, to take the majority of it down. I think I used a Dremel with a rotary burr. And then the last bit of it, I used real small. I have needle files. I used small half round and round files of different diameter to really get it really nice. And then the same thing, or some type of metal or wood dowel with some type of abrasive on it, some kind of sandpaper, finer on down until it was done. When I sent the engine out to Rennie Pearson at SwedeTech to have him do the porting and do the magic to the bottom end and all that stuff to the end of the head and all that he did, he called me when the motor showed up and said, "Robert, who has been in the intake of this engine? Somebody's been in there." I said, "Yeah, that was me. I matched it up to my 40 millimeter intake, right, for my 40 millimeter carburetor, because I wanted him to see what I was doing, right?" And as you can see, it matches right up. He said, you did that yourself?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, you did a really good job." I said, "I know. It took a lot of time, but the downside is it's so thin now, folks, that all it took was dropping it from here to the bench, to a solid bench, and it broke. So we've got quite a bit of work to do. Let me run you through the last thing that I want to show you is the reeds. The difference between these are, I believe, the Mondo cart reeds. They're very thin. We'll measure them. I think it said what 031 metric, right? See, we got 04. So that's stock standard for that. Let's go thousands and see what it does. That's saying 1,000? No, come on. It can't be. What are these? That's saying 0.01 as well. Man, that can't be right. Yeah. Well, they are, they may be the same thickness, but I'll tell you, just by hand, just by feeling them, well, these are the better reeds. They're not the great reeds. See, this one is a solid reed. It's one piece, like in the picture in the homologation sheet. These are two separate reeds. You follow? But they're the exact same piece. I can use these. This is from the RVS, the older model stuff, the ones we had made specifically by Carbon Tech for the Vortex reed cage. Before I started working with Carbon Tech and telling them what I wanted as for durability of the reeds, they did not offer a reed for a Vortex engine. So this is our own creation. As you can see, the pattern of the material is much heavier here than it is here, and that it makes a difference, folks. It makes a difference in the tension or flexibility of these reeds. You look at the little stiffener, and it's quite a bit different. Let's see what these measure. This says 0.2, and this said what? 0.3? Yeah, 0.3. So we've got to get back a hold of Carbon Tech and find out exactly what the deal is with getting us some more of these, because I think what we want is this same thickness, but obviously feels stiffer, not just because it's one piece. I mean, you just go to the corner here and push on it, and you go to the corner here, but this moves way easier than this does. And we want the high tension, we want the harder stuff for Daytona because it's all wide open throttle. And for one, they'll be more durable. They'll last the whole day, the whole time down there without having to change them. These here, with all that top end speed and stuff, may not make it. These were brand new reeds when we put the motor, on the cart after getting it back from Rennie to go to Daytona 2021. I did 2 6-lap runs, one 6-lap run to break the engine in, another 6-lap run, and when we decided that we weren't going to try that watercraft carburetor down there just wasn't working, and we decided I was fat and overweight, uncomfortable, seat didn't fit, I felt like I was riding on top of the cart instead of actually being in the cart, and the track was rough as a cob, so we decided not to race. And then we went to Grattan in April of 22 with additional parts in that watercraft carb that we talked to an expert out in California. He actually used to be the head of FMF's development program, DG's development program. And he gave me some pointers, and we made some changes to the internals of that carburetor, not just jetting, but some plastic diaphragm deals but there was no help. in April. So we went to the drawing board. We called and talked to the folks at Tillotson, and as you can see, this is an HB10A, which is right off the super shifter as a 36. Had them work that up. They also sent us, the other one's over there in a box. We have a 45 millimeter billet carburetor that we're going to put on our YZ250. But we got both those carburetors shipped to us at the same time. So here we are, having to deal with all this now. We have a good piece we can cast that doesn't, we could also try to cast something like this too. We just glue it up, doctor it up. That way we don't have to do a bunch of hogging out of another piece out of a mold off of this one. But we do have to get some reeds. We do got to get on the internet and get some reeds here. I've got a bunch of these. I have a bunch of these Mondo Cart reeds. Is it in a box here? They're in a box under here. There's another one of these, what do you call it, compact disc boxes here somewhere that has a whole boatload of these reeds in them. I bought a bunch. When I bought them, anytime I buy something over there, I just, try to round the bill up to a certain number or whatever. I buy 4 or 5 sets of those because look how quickly we go through them. This was new. 12 laps at Daytona, probably 1, maybe 2 runs at Grattan in April, which would have been maybe 3 to 5 laps at the most. Came back and ran this carburetor in October. No, we're in this carburetor in June, and slightly seized the motor when I stalled the cart leaving, got out to put the starter back on the crank, and I shut the water pump off. It's an electric pump, and didn't realize it, so the water got hot. And as soon as I felt it leaning over, I grabbed the clutch. It didn't hurt the Nicosil, but we did have to come back in October with a new piston. So we broke the motor in, and then we got to cut this big carburetor finally tuned in October. So we're looking at maybe total time, let's say we had an hour and a half and on these brand new reeds, and you can see here it's already got a piece of it falling off.